have the time or the wherewithal in order to prioritize the Monados to give you that edge. And that's why we're seeing Joshathan carry through losers right now, going up against Conman. Again, another Rob player, something that he has knowledge against yet again. So we'll see if the knowledge comes through or the way that Conman, that unforeseen, Arcadian player maybe, hasn't challenged Joshathan a whole lot. Maybe that unknown nature will give Conman the edge going forward. We'll see in this very do-or-die loser semis, because they will have to fight, I believe, P3? Or somebody else in losers finals, and then have to take down the tallest of task in Japan.
No, this is loser final, man.
Oh, this is loser finals, my bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, he already dealt with the pros. Now he's got to deal with the cons.
Yes. Yeah.
Joshathan Gamer, man, is starting it off pretty well, facing off against this Rob. And again, we saw this prior. And this is a little bit of a revenge match for Joshathan Gamer, who is not wanting to deal with the Rob Ditto. And Joshathan, who wound up beating Yoshio earlier on. And we saw Joshathan making it here by taking on Yoshio, who was also sent to losers by this very Rob, Conman.
Right.
So both of these individuals, their bracket path went through Yoshio. That's the reason why we were deprived of his presence on stream this week, I believe. But either way, we're going to see this Rob. Oh, so what we know is that Rob needs to work on that Yoshio needs to work on the Rob matchup, and certainly Conman putting in that work on the Pither, just as he did in loser side and winner side.
Yeah, right now he seems to be carrying it forward and then some, because right now 2-1, and Rob, he can shrug off about 50 damage here, so relatively healthy, nearly lapping with that respect in mind, but quick to mitigate that option and close it out. Joshathan finally using the Pyro to its fullest to send out the hefty boy that is Rob, making it 1-1 apiece and now 65. And just the flurry of options that Joshathan is putting out is making it questionable for how Conman is going to get this stock. Many Robs would find it pretty easily, but when you have the speed of Mithra, it is not anything set in stone.
Yeah, it can be anything but at that juncture, because you're talking about someone who is so easily able to work around what has defined your gameplay. It's the gyros, it's the lasers, it's the distance play, it's the ability to just get in and grab. When you're able to establish grab, you're able to get these kills, in the late 90s, early 100s, especially if you happen to be Mithra. God help you there. But Pyra is going to be the heavy hitter of the two. And you have the kill power to take out Rob at this point, or at the very least do some damage after you win advantage. Conman avoids the Z drop on the gyro. Hasn't won stage yet, but is able to get it back, get himself a little bit of space, and confirm with the up smash. Conman again proving that he's got what it takes to take on this Rob, or to take on really a very capable PR player who's working with the Aegis, and man, maybe challenging for Rob dominance here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, definitely a shake-up. The established Rob, as we know it, would be Joshathan without question, but we're certainly going to have to take another look at that, potentially, as we see the run back yet again. Another chance to reclaim. Oh, sorry, not a full run back as it is, but Hollow Bastion trying to establish the house in that main stage, maybe, is the security that Joshathan's looking for. And
what advantages is this going to give Joshathan, in your opinion? We could talk about the basics of this game, and obviously it's going to play out one way or another, but certainly Joshathan picked this for a reason.
The left and right sides of the stage are a bit more open, so, there's not a whole lot for Rob to resort to. Yes, Conman is going to, go low and throw out things like Nair lead-in, as he saw there, or an up air, like reverse shark from underneath the stage, or shark rather, from underneath the stage. But, you have to think that on stage, if Conman finds a foothold there, that middle platform just seems poised for an up tilt and jump up to reset and, you know, another up tilt confirm.
Oh,
but up tilts be damned, the down air is what's going to be sending that first stock out of the door right there. And again, now you see it. There we go. Conman trying to get the establishment underneath that platform, and he's trying to get the very dangerous nature of that up tilt in the hands of Pyramithra in order to just keep going against Joshathan, like you said before, someone that wrote the book, at least in this area, against or for Smash 5 Rob, just putting Joshathan, questioning how he's going to carry forward with Rob, especially when Pyramithra actually being seemingly being the answer to it. Maybe the Rob won't come out, at least in this regard, so we'll see if Joshathan can keep the advantage going here.
Trying to answer back at least a little bit, and going to get tagged by the Mithra. Just a tad, sitting at 31%. I mean, certainly the possibility for a comeback is there. I wouldn't quite say palpable, but you got to think that the possibility hanging on the tip of Conman's tongue is going to be a up air that almost does it, but it's going to be the gyro snipe that gets Conman right back into this one, and just like that, little tags on the down smashes. Why not? It's all of a sudden far from a foregone conclusion.
Oh yeah, Joshathan, you know, although, yeah, Joshathan right now has just found his foothold on stage. In the air, though, I don't think you need to challenge Rob in the air as much, again, because he's going to lead in that leading near gyro, just proving the hugest of benefits with that stall-out hit from that forward smash. And now Conman has just flipped the table yet again, and underneath that house, he finds the string that at least puts him ahead in terms of percentages. Has to escape that blazing edge, and another beep boop will not close it out, but the fear of God has to be put into Joshathan, as something that he seemed to have in his grasp has now seemingly just fallen right through it.
Conman has no reason to let go of shield right now. It's just not enough to pressure, not really enough to perturb, and the switch is going to be made to Mithra temporarily before going back to the power swinger. Pyro now trying to confirm advantage. Going for the prominence for bonus, not going to find it. Up air, going to tag him. What works better, a flaming magic sword or a robot's arm? Answer in this case was in fact the former, but boy, did it take a little bit of debate.
Yeah, I did not expect the up air to challenge that down B from Pyra, but unfortunately it didn't carry through. It didn't carry through for him in the end, and that will see the even 1-1 set here. But yeah, I mean, for Joshathan to be thinking that down beat didn't work, he still has to keep his wherewithal throughout the entirety of this set in order to carry it through.
Yeah.
And hop back to PS2, not going back to Hollow Bastion. It being Conman's pick. We'll see if he'll have the better foothold here.
Yeah, and you got to think, it's Conman experiencing a lot of success on this stage. In fact, most of the games he played against Jude, I believe, were on PS2. So again, Jackal sitting in Grand Finals, winner side. Going to have to see exactly how long that takes, but Conman right now, it knows it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And going to have to see if he can go the distance with Joshathan Gamer and get himself another PR win. 2 in one night on Joshathan alone. However, 2 stocks apiece is, yeah, trading pretty quick barbs with one another. And Joshathan seeing, you know, a willingness to go for those big hits, but Conman, as the game goes on, seems to be adjusting to them more and more. There's that definite shelf life with just kind of swinging away with Pyro.
Yeah, and to Joshathan's credit, the way that he lost that first stock, we would have seen a different Joshathan really get deterred by that, really get emotional by that. To his credit, he, you know, was able to challenge a Rob with an up smash and swing this right back 2-2, and has carried a lead against him. This is a at least fresher in the mind Joshathan, if not a whole new one than we've seen in a dog's age right now. So absolutely poised to do it. And again, with the fresher character pick, not maybe liking the Ditto as much, getting the fullest benefit off the character, no less, is Joshathan, as he now has one stock up against him, at least in this round. And with 86 on and still carrying ahead right now is Joshathan, just not letting up at all. Just, even if he has control, he is just not saying, all right, you need to come to me, which most players would just let that happen. No, they are writing their own history. They are one with the pen in the hand, and Joshathan will have one game up against Conman, the person that sent him in the losers, looking to rewrite the history books tonight. We'll see if he can carry it through one more chapter, or will Conman close the books.
I have to see. It's won the battle. Can he win the war? And now at 2-1, Joshathan looking to avenge the loss suffered earlier on in winner's side. Conman on the ropes. Certainly down, but definitely not out.
We're seeing here establishing neutral. A little bit of a gyro. Not a whole lot of gyro, so we'll see how it favors Conman in that regard, maybe later on in the set, as he seems more poised to utilize it, especially getting trapped with the down tilt gyro trap that we've seen very few and far between, but when you see it, you notice it and remember it for a good long while. And right now,
certainly hard to forget, isn't
it? Especially when it establishes 135 damage on you. You cannot forget it for sure, especially if it leads to a stock loss. Conman will potentially, much like a Traveler's Tales game, Conman will remember that one.
Yeah, they're not going to let you forget it at that point. Now, the Nairs, Conman trying to pile on even more punishment upon this Mithra. Swinging away again, and Conman, I understand throwing out the blazing ends to an extent because it's a big body, it's the middle of the stage. Odds are you're going to have to land on it in some regard, or at the very least you get to control exactly where the Rob lands, because it's a big target to be able to knock around. It's this sort of mechanical pinata that you get to hit until all the nuts and bolts and candy come out. So at 132, yeah, you're still threatening. But then again, if you're Joshathan, you're not really deterred from swinging away either.
I mean, yes, you know, it's blazing ends. It's the disjoint of disjoints of this character in the hands of Pyra. But at the same time, if Conman somehow finds his way around it, it takes a good long while for it to go back to Pyra, and Pyra is just left vulnerable in that state. If Conman can throw out a quick option, that could lead to a combo starter, a combo string, and combo strings you do not want to give Rob at all, because he could just run a train over you like this entire round has gone. And it being 1-2 on first stocks, but Conman just seems all the more relaxed in this current game state right now.
Yeah, I mean, just not necessarily an embarrassment to be up 2-1 and lose. But then again, if you're not feeling comfortable either, because this is how Conman sort of lulls you into a state of sleep. Yeah, you know, definitely can be a little bit impatient, but perhaps the lesson has been learned from his loss. Game 5 loss. But or maybe Joshathan is just better. I don't know. Like either one could be true. Either way, feel free to call me an idiot in Twitch chat.
Oh no. That was the most unexpected option, but, you know, sometimes they win out the day, and right now Joshathan is definitely counting his lucky stars that he did throw out that option at the right moment. And now 106 on. He is basically hard locked onto this Pyra, so not a lot of combos, but beefier hits are going to lend his way to potentially swinging this right around on Conman. 114 now, and again, maybe resorting to Blazing Edge a little too often. And yes, that will be the reason why we are seeing this Game 5, first of our Game 5 sets tonight. And Conman, winners finals.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was unfortunate to not remember that one, but
it's all good.
Still, it was for for Joshathan to have challenged Conman this much, the person that sent him into losers, and for Conman to fight back to make it a Game 5 in that 2-1 situation, these guys are just, putting on a spectacle tonight to just get into grand finals of all things. So, I'm loving every minute of it.
Yeah, no, it's been a display for sure from both of these individuals, and now we're going to see it come down to the bitter end. And to whatever end it may be, Joshathan will be facing it swords in hand against the machine that he knows so well, now turned against him. Pokemon Stadium for game number 5, and the music kicks up, and this is the song you picked. Honest to God, game 5. Regardless of that, we're going to see the. It's really hard to hold dramatic tension when you've got Esteban playing in the background, but. Yeah. It's like, the game 5 siesta is happening. Either way, we've got...
Do we know how old Pyra and Mithra are? Because it might be their quinceañera. Maybe that's why it's here.
Oh, it's true. Oh, they got like the dress and everything. Oh my gosh! Right, my friend. So he showed me the one song that they play at like every quinceañera.
Okay.
It's almost like how the cha-cha slide gets played at every wedding reception.
Oh my God! Okay.
It's that song.
Or like Sweet Caroline at any wedding reception too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically any standard white person song at any wedding reception.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. We were treading around it, but yeah.
Wait. So, but either way, it's gonna be spot dodge is mistimed, and it's gonna be Joshathan taking full advantage of it. It's hard to think of Pyra and Mithra as a counterpunching character, but that's kind of how Joshathan has been getting a lot of success out of this.
Yeah.
Conman maybe getting a little bit impatient, sticking the neck out just a little too much, and Joshathan's been basically making bank off of that.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a top player to recognize in these loser sets, game 5, last very do-or-die moments that, like, you don't have to go all out. Like, you can't bet everything on the farm all the time in those moments. You have to keep up that defensive or more reserved mentality throughout the set, and that is what's most taxing for most players, and that is what a lot of people don't remember when they categorize a lot of top players, like that marathon mentality of having that long-lasting gameplay in them. And Joshathan is just more used to it, essentially. Right now it's paying off for him, because right now he's looking down at 157 rather. Rob, who is just hurting to get back on stage, hurting to establish himself on stage, no less. Conman is just in dire straits nearly overall.
There you go.
Especially when Mithra, of both of these two characters, when Mithra is the one to take out a stock, it is just how many more nails in the coffin do you have? Joshathan is just counting them down here.
You're seeing it. Joshathan is doing it by keeping it relatively simple. You're not really seeing a whole lot of complex movement. You're just seeing foxtrots, back and forth, just these broad strokes. And now, here we go. Game number 5, Joshathan, Conman, 1 stock each. And like we said, to the bitter end, we are going to go. Just how bitter will it be for one of these two individuals as Jackal waits in grand finals? Who is going to represent PA at the cusp of it all?
And right now, Conman is hanging back and resorting to that laser and gyro nature that Rob's used to, but he's starting to take in that reserved defensive nature and letting, like you said, Joshathan fall into things, and he just fell into a heaping helping of damage.
There you go!
And he fell into, no, not the stock claim, but now it is Joshathan is the entire straits.
Out of everything! Taking aim and firing away! Conman finds the mark. That's a good eye on that robot.